Good morning and welcome to Cooking Circles. We've all had a container like this of leftover rice. Today we're going to be doing a couple of different recipes showing you ways that you can use leftover rice. You know, with the cost of food, this is pretty average value in Canada, maybe $1,000 more this year. I don't care how good a cook you are, you could be a Gordon Ramsay. If you don't know how to use your leftovers, it means nothing. So we're going to start off. I can give you the exact measurements for the rice pudding. I do kind of keep to like how much egg and milk I use, but so we're going to use this up. We're going to put in, now I think I ate my recipe yet. I'll give you guys, it's about a cup and a half. I'm just going to break this into threes. We have 3 yolks and we have 4 fried rice. So I'm going to put the rice in the pan. We have 2 cups of milk. We're going to pour in about a cup and a half. We're going to pull back half a cup. Cinnamon. Now, as much or as little as you want. I'm going to say about a half. Raisins. Now you can use, you don't have to use raisins. You don't have to use cinnamon. Those are optional. At home, I made it with a pumpkin spice. Now the thing is, if you use raisins, I tend to cut down and leave it on my sugar. The recipe I have calls for 1/3 cup of sugar. So if I put raisins in, I put in 1/4 cup of sugar because these are little sugar bombs and it gets a little too sweet, in my opinion.
So do you freeze out the raisins?
Yeah. We'll moisten up. We're going to put in our sugar. And just a pinch. Of salt. We're going to turn it on. Now, because there is sugar in the milk as well as the sugar that we put in, we're just going to stir this all. And you want to keep stirring because the sugar in the milk and the sugar will burn. So you don't want to have it too hot. And this honestly will take about 10 minutes to cook down. So
I'm sure you have more things you want to say.
so we're just going to let this cook. And it'll cook down so it's nice, it's thicker and it's creamier. And then we've got 1 egg that we're going to add in, the rest of the milk, the 2 cups. And then we cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. And then we're going to take off the heat, add the vanilla and the butter.
Okay, let's have a status update.
Okay, well, you know what? That's good because the rice is at the right consistency. Okay, so as you can see now, it is cooked down. See there, you can see the mark where it started off and how it's cooked down, and now it's a thicker consistency. And it's cooked for about 10 minutes on medium, stirring. What we're going to do, we're going to add what was left of the milk. Okay, and that's going to kind of cool it down a bit. I'm turning the burner off for this right now. Now, I'm going to show you a little trick that I would do in the kitchen. If you add the egg in, you're going to get scrambled eggs. So, what we're going to do is we're going to temper it. So, we're going to bring the temperature up of the egg. So that we're going to just add a little bit at a time. a little bit into the egg of the rice pudding. So it helps bring up the temperature. One more in. What we're gonna do, because now the temperature of the egg has been carefully and slowly brought up. We're gonna pour it into the pan. We're gonna turn on the burner. We're gonna let it cook so the egg has time to cook.
I have a question.
Okay.
Is your egg a beaten egg,
Oh, yes, yes, it was a beef egg, sorry. I have,
not frothy?
not, no, I just beat it to the egg, you know, everything's
Come
kind
on.
of. You know, and we're just gonna cook it, then we're gonna take it off. And it was one egg we used, one whole egg. Just want to cook everything for a minute or two. And then we'll add in, we'll take it off the burner. We'll add in some vanilla. And butter just makes it silky and savory and good. And vanilla just if you wanted to, you could use, like sun-dried cranberries. This is butter. And about a tablespoon of butter,
You can't fool me, that's not bad.
not butter.
So what you're telling me is it's butter inside a larger container.
Yeah. Probably the packaging was the most valuable. Next 1 teaspoon of honey. I honestly, I don't put sugar. I just don't. That's all. Easy enough.
People might not know, but the spoon that you just used
Was a tablespoon.
is roughly a tablespoon.
Yeah, it is,
And it comes from the name tablespoon. And the reason we have a special implement for a tablespoon is because they're not standard. And the measurement.
And do you remember how many teaspoons are in a tablespoon?
I do. What about the audience? Do you know?
It's 3 teaspoons in 1 tablespoon. So 1 tablespoon is 15 ml, and 1 teaspoon is 5 ml. Smell like yummy goodness. Yeah.
Higher?
And it's steam coming off. I'm just gonna let it sit here.
It looks like oatmeal.
Yeah, it does. Doesn't it? We're just gonna let it sit and let it cool down. Then we're gonna move over to making some burritos.
So you're taking it off the heat.
I've taken it off the heat. It's on a different burner. It's cooling. I'll just keep going and whisking it, kind of releasing the heat that every once in a while so it cools down, and I make the rest of it.
So see you at the next station.
We're continuing on with the using our lovely leftover tub of rice. I forgot to mention before we made the rice pudding, I happen to use long grain white rice that, this is just long grain white rice that is here that I use. So we're gonna make burritos. Now, we're gonna kind of spread it. So I'm gonna just take some of this rice. Needs to be frozen. I have here some ground pork that I cooked up with, I grated half the onion into it, and it's taco seasoning.
Is that from a package?
No, actually, I had a mix. I made my own mix,
Okay.
but you can use a package if you want. And I just like to use my black beans,
What kind of spices are in it?
cumin, onion, garlic, oregano, chili powder. I think my recipe calls for salt and pepper. I kind of cut back on my salt because there's so much other seasonings. that I don't need to necessarily. Black beans, you can buy the can,
Listen,
rinse them, of course. I happen to just use my dried beans and I cook them in Instant Pot. Because,
for 20 minutes.
about that, yeah.
Yeah.
I like doing that because I found when I buy canned beans, they need to be used and you don't always.
Right.
And then I'm stuck with either throwing away and I don't want to throw them away.
Or making something
Or
with
making
beans
some,
again.
yeah. I also want to quickly just touch on dispelling the myth about beans in general. When you think of beans, you think of that old beans, the magical fruit, the more you eat, the more you chew. I've actually done a lot of reading on beans. And the interesting thing about them is it's not the beans themselves that make you gassy. What it is we as North Americans particularly, we do not get enough fiber in our diets. So what happens when you eat beans, and you don't eat them very often, you know, maybe once a month. So a small bean, what happens, like a little torpedo that just goes through your system. And that speed of it going through your system creates the air, creating the gas. You can look at me like that, but honestly, I have read a lot about it, and it's not beans. It's because of the sheer force and that they move through your system, it creates that gas.
Because your body doesn't know what to do with it and process it
Because
faster.
we as North Americans don't eat enough fiber. And it's a. Now, the nice thing is that you can freeze these, the burritos, but the thing is, if you put like lettuce or avocado, tomato, you have to be careful because those things don't freeze well because of the moisture content in them. So we're gonna first just do some basic ones with the rice, the beans, the meat, and some cheese that they can be frozen, and then we're just gonna mix this all together.
Cheese freezes well.
Because of fat content in it. I mean, how many frozen pizzas, frozen lasagnas, frozen
Yeah, indeed.
whatever, jalapeno poppers.
And it could be cooked cheese or it could be raw cheese, and then it doesn't matter. It's still freezes well. If you tuned into our cooking shows before, you'll know that she likes to clean up as she goes, and she's always washing them.
Yes. Okay, so we will get to making the burritos, and you can add like corn in them too, you know. But I'm going to show you something. You don't have to just wrap them in a wrap. You don't want to use a wrap. You can make a bowl. So what we're going to do, put some of that mixture on the bottom. Rice here, or corn, I should say, apparently. Fresh diced tomatoes.
Look at that presentation.
Gonna grab.
That looks like a good one.
That is, I made sure I grabbed it.
How do you tell when it's a good avocado?
It's soft.
But it also turns black too.
It does, the color changes, but the softness of it is a good.
If it looks really green and lovely, it's not ready.
To get the pit out,
Mhm.
hit with your this. Oh, you know what? Now, the thing is, I know.
Never too much cheese.
Oh, my husband. Now, the thing is that if there's something else you want, you can use it. That's the nice thing, right? So,
That looks perfect. Maybe even a little mushy.
so you have for now.
If they're over soft, that means that they're overripe, right?
To make.
Guacamole.
Now, if you want, you can for like a dressing if you want a dressing. You could easily, any style dressing that you want to use, right? There's the town. Caesar, if you wanted ranch, whatever you want, right? If you want to just use a little vinegar one. If you want, you can make your own aioli.
So is this a taco salad?
Well, it's a burrito.
Or,
A burrito bowl. So that'll
and
be,
that's ready for the table, or
well, you
it
can
needs
heat
to be
it.
warmed up a bit,
You need to. I would warm it up before I put the tomato in.
right? Or you could put it in the freezer,
No.
not with the avocado.
Yeah.
But with the rest.
So.
It'd be a good lunch, wouldn't it?
That's exactly the idea.
Yeah. So save your containers.
So I'm just gonna mix in here the cheese. So it's kind of everything's kind of nicely mixed up with time. If you wanted to, you can always make an aioli. Just basically mayonnaise with whatever you choose. If you want to put in roasted garlic, or whatever, those things are up to you.
I've heard of the name of aioli before.
Is it AIOLI? Okay, so you want to come and help me mix some wraps?
Okay.
Wash your hands. It must have been in the director's notes.
Director, no. But I'm the director.
Oh.
Hi.
So we're gonna put kind of in the middle. But deep, and not too much, because you want to be able to wrap it.
To close, yeah.
Yeah, right? So we're gonna kind of keep it in the middle. I think I might have put too much in.
You're in there. I put the perfect amount on.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I didn't realize it was a competition.
Oh, you're dealing with a man here. It's always about competition. Understand? Does that sound right?
Okay, so now to,
More? For the next one?
oh, but do you know how to wrap it?
I think so. No, I do know how I do.
So the bottom comes up.
Mhm. Professional. Look at that. And then you put your toothpick through. At least that's how you get it in the rest.
Or
Right?
not.
And then they cut it and they put the thing through it and
Yeah, that's restaurants.
it's not us. Did you put tomatoes in it?
I do that. Okay, I don't, and like, I forgot to mention, if you wanted to, you can also use canned tomatoes.
No?
No,
Oh, you should get used to it.
you could do it.
So you started on this side.
Yeah, like just folding and cooking in the blanket. While you do that, I'm gonna just take this stuff over to the sink. And I'm going to go and restir the rice pudding. Keep going down.
Ah,
Like your-
mine isn't beautiful, but it's
Well, it doesn't
It's
matter, you know
close.
what, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be something that you would eat. Right?
fine.
Perfection is,
For losers.
no, perfection is for chefs.
Is it? Because they have to sell it.
We're not professionals, we're just fun. Ooh, that's way too much.
And then we put it upside down. So that
Yeah,
it's
you-
left.
yeah.
We got room for another one in there?
Yeah, we do. Here. Yes. And you can wrap these and put these in the freezer. You can use, as I was saying, canned tomatoes if you want to use the paste, if you want to use the chunks, whatever. That should freeze well. I'm out of tomato.
Oh, no.
Well,
Substitute it.
I'll let you continue.
Fast mustard.
You pass the mustard. But you know what?
Sounds good.
I don't understand how people say cut the mustard. How do you cut mustard?
Does it have a big seed?
Well,
It
you
doesn't
know,
have a big seed.
Well, you know what I'm saying, right? I've never like there's people say, you know, cut the mustard. Well, how often do you cut mustard? Let's see. There. Well, well, that's the thing is that don't, everybody has different skill levels. And you know what, when you're learning something, don't feel intimidated. Why are you doing that, young man? I need to put some avocado in there. That's good.
You ready?
Don't look at me and say, oh, well, I'm not doing it the way she's doing it. Well, you know what? You're right, you're not. But then I've had a lot of practice. And I've done a lot. Now, why did you go and do that?
It did it on its own. I think I must have put it the wrong way up.
I think you must have put it the wrong way up. Everybody has different skill levels. And don't limit yourself and say, well, I can't do it because I don't do it as well as so-and-so. No. I didn't start off this good. It took years of practice of cooking and understanding.
Years of learning by trial and error. For me, that's. how
Don't
I-
look at it as a mistake, look at it as a learning.
Sure, that's a great way to look at mistakes.
Don't look at it
If
as a
you're not
mistake.
making mistakes, you're not learning.
I remember when I was in college, and one of the stories from breakfast tools is how they came about making I can't think of this, croissants. It was a baker who in France, he forgot to put fat into the dough and that he was making, and he wanted to hide it from his boss because he didn't want his boss to know he made a mistake. So that's how croissants came about the making of that. So yes, so we're done with the burritos, and yeah, put in what you want. You can individually wrap these, put these in the freezer, wrap them in aluminum, wrap them in plain plastic wrap, yeah, plain wrap. And they can freeze up to about 3 months. Again, just be careful about stuff with high
Water
moisture
content.
content, like fresh tomato,
Avocado.
avocado, lettuce, you know,
Lettuce doesn't do well in freezing because it gets really limp.
because of the moisture.
Oh, because it freezes. And then the
Mhm.
crystals break down and
The moisture.
makes it limp.
Mhm. Okay, fried rice. My husband, to him, fried rice is just rice you can cook in a pan with soy sauce. This can actually be more like a meal for people. butter and bottom of can. I have 2 scrambled eggs. Now, the thing is, I don't have an actual set recipe. This to me is more of a, use whatever you want. I've seen on, guys, diners, drivers and dives, where it was in one, Sam and pineapple.
Good.
So the thing is, use, like burritos, use what you want. This is just showing you ways you can read the ice, so it helps to stretch your budget. So I have here 2 beaten eggs. And we're just gonna scramble them. With my you have to, if you want to use more rice, but to me, fried rice, you have to have the rice and the eggs. Right, and so, I've been to somewhere I put in, corn. I've seen where you use it with the barbecue pork that is shredded, or chicken shredded. So we're just gonna scramble the eggs. You could take these out. I'm just gonna do everything in here quickly. I also like mushrooms too. I find mushrooms. And just again, honestly, you can get some meat. So I just waited for the last roll. And something was up to the rice.
A small amount of egg. A lot of-
It's 2 eggs, but without a small amount of egg.
Good to begin with.
We're gonna put in rice off. That's going to kind of help everything warm up. And cook. Mushrooms. And peas. I find peas also really help. That's not a very rich soy sauce. I guess I'm just trying to the crown. This thing of the gold. And some peas. Frozen, I just the frost. You can put them in frozen too if you want. And then just run the frost. And I just wanted to kind of pop. And that's from right. We're just gonna make sure it keeps all the way through. You can cook your mushrooms a little bit more.
Sauteing.
Yeah. You want. You want, you can put shrimp too, if you want, if you can afford shrimp. But, because look at this, you're getting rice, you're getting your carbs, rice and grain, and, you're getting mushrooms and peas, so you're getting veggies, fruits and veg. You're getting protein in the eggs, because that's a meat. The only thing you're not getting is dairy.
What's in the butter?
Yeah.
It's not there?
I'm just saying that, because that's so much I use the whole what teaspoon. But yeah, then it's basically just make sure it's cooked all the way through, it's not heated all the way through, and it's done.
It's ready.
You better to eat them now. I got a lot of food to take home. Yeah, not really here because there's nobody to see it. Okay, so today we made the burritos, the rice pudding, the fried rice. With the cost now of meat particularly, a lot of you I know will be looking for alternatives. Spreading out your meat by using like the beans and the rice to kind of spread it out is a great way of doing it. Look to see what they have in the store. Buy when they're on sale. And you can individually divide it up and freeze it. Find what works for you. You know, I can tell you what I do, and that's me. But at the end of the day, I can tell you many things. It depends on what you want to do. So, beans and lentils are a great alternative. Look online, see what they have available, the videos, those different recipes. If you're not available, don't worry about it. Start simple and work your way up. No base starts off, the box or
Simple can be tasty.
exactly. And today we made 8 burritos, rice pudding, fried rice, a burrito bowl, and I think with my at the grocery store, it's $30. So we have a couple of meals right here for about $30. Enjoy cooking and have a wonderful day. And don't be afraid to make